Hello and welcome to sim.bc, where it right now is 17:38 in the afternoon, evening, something like that. I'll say pre-evening, mates, yet again, trying to make it stick, yeah? And today, I'm having a bit of a feeling in my throat, yeah? So if I'm not as high-pitched or whatever as I usually am, that probably might be the reason for why, okay? So just bear with me, yeah? As we go through this video together, as we always do. But that might be because might be why I will be whispering these things a bit, weirdly today. We're a bit, off what I'm usually doing. So just to have you, with me on that entire train of thought, with me on that process. So what has happened to me today? Because of course you want to know what's the latest thing in my life. Well, spent a couple of hours in the school working on the thesis yet again, because that's my life now. It's funny now, isn't it? Said goodbye to a very dear friend of mine who's going to leave the city forever. No, but he's going to leave for a couple of months. So that was fun as well. Actually took a stroll around the lake, just talking about jolly old memories that we've shared together and so on and so forth. But it's been all nice. It's been all good. It's been all fine. But that's not why you are here. Now is it? No. You're not here to just listen to me talking about me saying goodbye to a good old friend. No. You're not here to listen to me sitting in school. No. You are here to discuss the project. And what is more important than discussing the project? The actual project of what is evil? Well, it's of course discussing the sub-project within the project. That is the 7 deadly sins. And we've been going through gluttony, something along those lines. We've been going through, what was the one of yesterday? Envy, exactly. I know where I am. I know where I'm going. Envy. And today we're going to take a look at one of the more ambiguous parts, yeah, to actually contributing to evil. Even though some people have very strong feelings, as I found online, yeah, because there was a limited amount of research going into this aspect. Now, this is in relation to gluttony, or however you want to pronounce it, in a big way, I'd say. So if you are if you are even the little bit, familiar with the different sins, you are probably already knowing which one it is. But if you don't, we're going to talk about sloth. Yeah? Sloth. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I thought something funny, yeah? Or something rather interesting would be to just read off the actual definition of what a sloth really is. A slow-moving tropical American mammal that hangs upside down from the branches of trees using its long limbs and hooked claws. Yeah, that's probably not the sloth that we're interested in now, is it? No. Reluctancy to work or make an effort. Or, as we like to call it, yeah, in the layman's terms, laziness. Yeah, that's the one that we're looking for. That's the one that we're going to work with. And it's the evil part of this, that everybody's just sitting around not doing anything. As you roll into work in your nice car, you're stepping out because you've been working your ass off, yeah, in order to get this car. You've been, rolling in that cash every month, that salary, yeah? And you've been working hard for it. Why? Well, because you are a decent human being. And that's what you do at work. You work. I know, it sounds crazy to some of you, yeah? But it's actually true. That's kind of what you tend to do at work. You work. So anyway, you're rolling up in your nice new car. Maybe you have a suit on, yeah? To pristinely show off that you actually make some cash, yeah? That you make that money, that you make that green. And you start walking into your office. You see everybody's working good. Gary and Jerry and Kent is all doing what they can. And then you move in and you see, well, Barry. As usual, he isn't doing anything. Still, though, he's getting the equal amount of pay, which pisses you right off, yeah? And makes you think that this is someone who is lowering the standard, the average for everybody at the workplace on my expense. And that's the most important part, I think, when it comes to this, this sin that most people have talked about, as far as I know, that they're pissed and they're angry and they're irritated on that some people, yeah, can do nothing and still get equally as much, rewards from it, yeah? And that is the entire discussion about the, punishment and reward structure within itself. I get that. I can see that that's an entirely different argument. However, it kind of connects back to this. So sloths then, you're walking in, you see Barry doing nothing. And you're thinking to yourself, this little bastard, yeah? This little prick is doing nothing of the sorts that I am doing and still getting the equal amount of pay. Yet again, the reward and punishment system is a bit, out of whack there, in my opinion, I'd say. And you move on through your day and you're getting pissed and you're getting more and more irritated that this is happening. Every day you're rolling in your car, every day you're walking in, every day you're seeing Barry doing nothing. And this is kind of, apparently, what has led people to think that lazy people are evil. Or at least the evil I could find when it was in relation to sloths. When it was in relation to, not the animal, Don't do the same mistake that I did. But that lazy people are in relation to evil. The one thing that I found, at least, was that people tend to think that lazy people are evil just by the case that they're dragging down everybody else. And that is evil, apparently. And I mean, I want to talk, If we take me for an example, I work around the clock if I need to get something handed in. I mean, one time I sat, I think, 24 hours just working on one essay because I thought, I need to do this done. I need to make this. This needs to be done. I'm going to sit down the entire night. I'm going to grab like my first or second coffee in my life and I'm going to work through this. Yeah, I really did my part. And then when I came to school, you know what I found? This was in like high school or something. People hadn't done their parts. And I could totally agree with the statement that is evil, because that is in a way, right? Being lazy is sort of in a way saying that, my time is more worth than yours. Right? Because I put away my interest. I put away all of the things that I really wanted to do that day. And I worked instead because the work needed to be done. Now we can argue that, why did you save all the work to the last day? Well, I've learned my lesson and now I don't do that anymore. However, the other people had also saved their work for the last day, but they hadn't done anything. Which pissed me right off. I was really angry about it. And I thought that this is truly evil people. And I can see where the people are coming from, in the research that I've been reading. Or research is perhaps a bit of a strong word when it comes to this type of thing. But there are lots about stuff about laziness and how that affects society and so on and so forth. But mostly blogs, I can admit, mostly blogs today that I've been reading through. And they were still discussing this idea that people who are lazy tend to, the indirect thing that happens, even if I don't say that my time is more worth than yours if I'm lazy, right? Is that's how it comes across. Because if I say, you sat at home, Philip, and you did all of the things that we were supposed to do. You did your part, right? And it's really good. However, I didn't because, I felt like doing something else. Perhaps playing the piano, playing one of the guitars, right? Playing video games, doing other stuff, reading a book. Well, that's all fine and dandy, and you can do that on your free time. However, the evil part yet again comes in when you're saying that, my time is more worth than yours. And now I know what some of you are going to say. Like, just that my time is more worth than yours isn't actually evil. That's just them being a bit of a prick now, isn't it? I could tend to agree. But the entire, developed idea when it comes to the evil part of saying that my time is more worth than yours is yet again this idea of building up the negative feelings in society, because you're saying that if we have 4 out of 5 people not doing anything, procrastinating and all thing of the sort, right, just being sloths, just being lazy, that negative emotion that they are going to spread by doing this in the long run is going to hurt society, which is evil in within itself. And one can also argue, right, and this was kind of an interesting thing that I found when I was looking through these different blogs. I don't know if this is correct, so just bear in mind source critique, be critical to what you view online. For instance, about what I'm going to tell you right now. So I found this really interesting concept, right? I'm not going to state where it was from because I thought it was both kind of interesting and kind of ridiculous in the same way, but still had some form of merit to it. And that was that, we are humans and we've been evolving, right? If you're thinking about the evolving thing, I know that some people don't, and I don't know why they don't, but whatever, So we've been evolving for thousands of years, right? And the thing that has made us move forward in, like, as a society, as a people, as a species, really putting us aside from the animals, yeah, is not only that we can coexist with each other without actually unaliving each other, yeah, because that's how you say it. It's also that we can actually put together small, what you say, societies, and that someone is actually taking the, well, gone the extra mile, ran the extra yard, I don't know what you say in English, but actually worked for it, actually put in the effort so that this can become a reality. Which I'm all for, I'm all behind that. However, when it comes to lazy people playing a role in this, which is what most people say today, right? That, well, lazy people are just, they're hindering the development for everybody else, and that is evil. That's what they think is evil. However, simultaneously, the lazy people are the people that comes up with the best inventions, because they're finding a way of doing something that's really hard, tedious, and, you know, irritating, and makes it easier. Because, you know, if it's easier, then that means I become more lazy. I can be more lazy right in my production, maybe. So maybe lean thinking is entirely based on laziness and stuff like that. So people, this argument was that, well, sure, we have been working the extra mile, we have been going the extra mile, we have been working, putting in the effort. That's one part of building society. However, you can't have a society without having lazy people, because then you wouldn't come up with these brilliant solutions to everyday problems. And as I said, that's kind of interesting in a way, right? And I can see many people agreeing with this, and so do I. So what I'm trying to introduce here is that some people saying that, well, lazy people are evil because they spread this negative emotion of, just as gluttony then, consuming on someone else's behalf and to someone else's expense. This is the same thing. You're being lazy on someone else's expense because you're going to drag other people down by being lazy. However, the counter argument to this is that, well, if I'm lazy, it probably means that maybe I'm coming up with a better way of doing it because I don't want to do all of these things. And I can totally see that being an argument. However, if you're going to fulfill that thing, then you probably need to put in the effort to actually realize your new idea, your new development. I would argue, right? I might be wrong. So, to end and conclude this short, very rambly discussion about some of the most, morally ambiguous, abstract concepts that we're going to take up here, probably, yeah, when it comes to in relation to evil, is that, yeah, sometimes lazy people tend to drag down everybody else. However, that might just be unrealized potential because they might not be very good at what you're doing, what you tell them to do. However, they might shine in some other aspects. So perhaps a bit of a dysfunctional team working there, yeah? Hidden potential, untapped potential. However, that's not what I'm saying. So, ending on this, I mean that, and sorry for bringing up a new point, but that lazy people tend to drag other people down, right? That's what we've been discussing. However, lazy people also are necessary to actually find the solutions to everyday problems to actually bring the entirety of society up. So it's a bit of a trade-off that you do there. Do you take the good with the evil? Is it really evil? Yet again, this is one of those times when I tend not to agree that just because you're lazy on someone else's expense doesn't mean that you're necessarily evil, except if you're purposely doing it. But who can say that you're evil and that you're not just a bit of a prick, right? It's kind of hard to make the distinguish difference between the two. However, that was everything for me, mates, and have a nice one, and I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow, yeah, with some more stuff. No, but with some more conversation about this topic, of course, moving through the different sins, and I don't remember in the top of my head which one it is, so we'll see tomorrow. Have a nice one, mates. I'll see you tomorrow.